And we're about to start by bringing to you some prayer. That's how we start our meeting. It's going to be done by Brother Eric, Honorable.
Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone in Jessups and the surrounding areas. We are about to start, and we're going to ask Sister Charlene to come and offer a word of prayer for us as we commence our proceedings this evening. Sister Charlene.
Good night. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this week, for all that you have provided for us during this week, for all you have been to us. We ask that thou is pleased to remember everyone in this village of Jessups and the surrounding areas. We ask the ones who are ill that you will touch them in their body and in their mind. Those who are suffering in any way, we ask that thou is pleased to visit them in their quiet hour and heal all their sicknesses, provide for them in every way. We want to also thank you for the former representative, Mr. Parry, who served long and hard in this community. We are grateful for his service, and we ask that thou is pleased to bless him and provide for him as he enjoys his retirement. Remember the two persons who are running. We ask that thou is pleased to give them strength and wisdom so that they can do a good job for the people of this constituency. Remember our party, the Concerned Citizens Movement. We are depending on you to provide us with success in this endeavor. And we thank you, Lord, for providing the success for our candidate, Mr. Keith Scarborough, MBE. Bless us, bless all the speakers, bless our party, our island, our leaders. These mercies we ask in your name and for your sake. Amen.
Thank you very much, Charlene. And we say good night once again to all the lovely people here in the Jessups village area and the surrounding areas. We are here. The Big Blue Machine is right here in the parish of St. Thomas's. And we have been going through the length and breadth of the parish for the past couple of days to take one simple message. Of course, you would have heard from Charlene, who prayed for us, that the reason why we are here tonight, we're here tonight because we are going into a by-election come Thursday, this coming Thursday. So the election is just a matter of a couple of days away. So this coming Thursday, the 5th day of March, in the year 2020, the people of St. Thomas's Parish will be going to the polls in a historic by-election to vote for the candidate of their choice, because the former representative in the person of the Honorable Joseph Parry has decided to call it a day in politics. And once again, as we do on every occasion, at every meeting, we want to give kudos and thanks to the Honorable Joseph Parry for the contribution that he has made to St. Thomas's Parish, to the island of Nevis, and to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Of course, when people make a contribution, we cannot overlook the contribution that they have made, irrespective of the fact that he's on the other side of the fence. He represents the Nevis Reformation Party. Irrespective of that, we have to give credit where credit is due. And we want to thank him for his long and hard service to the island of Nevis. But now that the Honorable Joseph Parry has decided to step aside, to make way for someone else from this constituency to be your representative, we are here from the Big Blue Machine, the Concerned Citizens Movement, to endorse one of our very own from the party, Mr. Keith This and That Scarborough, MBE. He is the man that will be on the ballot paper for the for the Concerned Citizens Movement, your ruling party in government. Your ruling party in government. And we want to make it absolutely clear, as we have done, every night we have a meeting, that irrespective of what happens in the polls this coming Thursday, your caring government, your caring administration, the party that says people matter most, we will remain your government. That will not change anytime soon. We have at least another 3 years in our mandate, and then we'll continue to count the other 5 years, and 5 and 5 and 5 and 5 after that. All right? But we are here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, because we are here to endorse and support our brother, our candidate, Keith This and That Scarborough. And as I said, we have gone all through the parish of St. Thomas's. We'd have gone to Cotton Ground. We would have gone to Barnes Gut. We would have gone to Craddock Road. We would have gone to Westbury. And now we're here with the lovely people of Jessups Village. We know that Jessups is an important part of St. Thomas's. And that is why we are here to reach out to you, the people of Jessups Village. We are here to tell you and to impress upon you that come by election day, we would like the support of the majority of the people of Jessups Village. We know that in any election, we will have support on both sides. But we are counting on the people of Jessups to come on our side this time around. We know traditionally the people of Jessups have voted overwhelmingly for the party in opposition. And if you vote overwhelmingly for the party in opposition on Thursday, we want to remind you that you will still remain in opposition. This time around, ladies and gentlemen, you have an opportunity to send a representative to government. You have a glorious opportunity to send someone to the Nevis Island Assembly, to the Nevis Island government, to the cabinet of the Nevis Island administration. And of course, we in the Nevis Island administration will welcome that candidate, if he is your choice, with open arms. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much you can do in government, but there's hardly anything that you can do while you are in the opposition. When you are in the opposition and you come to the Nevis Island Assembly, all you come to do is to mark your name, make your contribution, and then go home. You do not have access as an opposition member to the purse of the Nevis Island administration. And that is why we are saying that the candidate of your choice should be someone who will be able to make a very positive contribution to the St. Thomas's Parish. Now, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups Village, we have been saying over and over and over again at these meetings that the parish of St. Thomas's, never mind that you have not voted on our side, you have not been left behind where the development of this beautiful island of Nevis is concerned. And you will never be left behind, because the government is elected to serve all the people. And that includes St. Thomas's Parish. And that is what we have been doing. We have been demonstrating over and over again that we are a caring administration, an administration that puts people at the heart and center of all of our activities. And that is why our mantra is, people matter most. And that will always be our mantra, because we believe in the development of our people, and we believe in the development of the country, but it's the people who are at the heart and center of those developments. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a number of speakers for you tonight, and our speakers will be outlining all of the great things that have been happening in this wonderful parish of St. Thomas's. They will outline to you why it is important for you to send Keith this and that Scarborough MBE to Parliament, why it is important to send him to Cabinet, and why it is important for him to send him to represent you. He has been coming to you over and over again. He is very consistent. And the fact that he is so consistent, it means that he is willing to serve. He is willing and he is able. And so we want to impress upon you, the people of Jessups. And we know the sound system is so good that people in Cotton Ground and people in Barnesgut and people in Craddock Road are hearing the sounds of the big blue machine. Because once the big blue machine rumbles, we rumble, and we rumble well. So we are here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to rumble in the Jessups area. And we're going to rumble in Jessups and rumble all the way until next Thursday, when the elections will be called. And when Keith this and that Scarborough will be elected to the Nevis Island administration. Ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, it's such a pleasure to be here. We want to welcome those who are here. Those of you who are not here yet, please come on out. Listen to the issues. Listen to the party that is giving you facts, not fiction, not lies, not fabrication, strictly facts. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring on our first speaker tonight. And we have a nice lineup this evening. We have our leader who is back with us. He has been off island for some time, but he's back, and you'll be hearing him a little later. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to the podium, to the microphone, to address you, the man who is still very much new to the Nevis Island administration, but he has been acting like someone who has been there for 10 to 15 years. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on the representative for St. Paul's, Charlestown, the Honorable Spencer Brand.
Thank you very much, Mr. DJ. Good evening, good evening, good evening to Jessups Village. Good evening to the heart of St. Thomas's, the bedrock of the St. Thomas's constituency here on the island of Nevis. I want to say good night to those who are listening to us via the World Wide Web. And I understand that we are going all the way to the South Pole and to the North Pole tonight. I want to say to those folks who are all the way down in the South Pole, good evening. Nevis is nice and warm tonight. I want to say to those who are in Canada and United States and Taiwan and England and China, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon to wherever you are. And I want to say a very special good evening to the residents here of Jessups Village in the constituency of St. Thomas's. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to say to you that come Thursday, the 5th of March, there will be a by-election in this constituency. We are here to say to you tonight that you, over the many years, would have elected your representative from the NRP in the person of Joseph Walcott Parry, the Honorable Joseph Walcott Parry. And I want to join with the chairman tonight to offer my own words of commendation to the Honorable Joseph Parry. Because while he would have been on a different political organization than we of the CCM, he would have served this country long and hard for many years. And I want to use this opportunity once again to wish him happy retirement. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight with a very simple message. We are here tonight to say to you to strengthen the hand of your CCM party in government by electing King Keith Descendant Scarborough to Parliament. We are here to say to you tonight that while you have on the other side someone who is a candidate of the NRP, and we are here to say to you that if you were to elect the NRP candidate, you will simply put that person in opposition. But we believe that our message is more serious than that. It is one thing to put someone in opposition, but we are here to say to you that you should try and ensure that you send someone to government rather than in opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, the record would show that while the constituency of St. Thomas's under a CCM administration do not have someone in government, your caring CCM government continue to undertake many initiatives here in St. Thomas's. We have undertaken many projects here in St. Thomas's. And I want to say to you that right here in Jessups, we have undertaken a number of road projects. We have started the road rehabilitation project from Cotton Ground to Libert Hill right here in St. Thomas's. Now we could have said that St. Thomas's does not have any representative in cabinet so we could have gone and start that road in a different constituency. But we said no. St. Thomas's is a part of Nevis. And we as a government intend to develop every single section of Nevis irregardless. I am here to say to you that while we want you to strengthen the hand of your CCM party continue to develop St. Thomas's as well. The record would show that right here in St. Thomas's, we have been instrumental in ensuring that no less than 2 financial institutions are based right here in St. Thomas's. You, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, continue to be the beneficiary of the Nevis International Bank there in Bansgat by creating employment here in the constituency of St. Thomas's and in Jessups. There is also what was once the Bank of Nevis International is now located in Cotton Ground, creating employment for the people of Cotton Ground and St. Thomas's. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are 2 financial institutions that could have gone to another constituency or to another area of Nevis. But they are here in your constituency because we believe that every single section of Nevis must be developed. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard of the 4 Seasons expansion and the 4 Seasons development. And we are here to say to you that many of you here in Jessups and in St. Thomas's would have participated in that renovation. And that development and expansion, ladies and gentlemen, was as a development and as a constant confidence of the owners in your CCM party. I'm saying to you, we want you to strengthen your CCM government hand to continue the development throughout the length and breadth of Nevis. And you must recognize that St. Thomas's is always and is also a part of Nevis. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing to you a man who is desirous of being your voice in Parliament and in Cabinet. We are bringing to you a man who is eager to serve the constituency of St. Thomas's. We are bringing to you a man whose heart is in the right place for the development of St. Thomas's. We are bringing to you, ladies and gentlemen, Keith Scarborough. And you have seen his exploits in Calypso. You must understand that win, lose, or draw in Calypso, Keith descendant Scarborough keep coming back time and time and time again. That is a clear indication, ladies and gentlemen, of his commitment. And that commitment in Calypso would be the same commitment that he would give to you as your representative of St. Thomas's. He have outlined to you a very ambitious plan for development in St. Thomas's. And I'm saying to you that I want you to allow him the privilege to serve you. I want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen of St. Thomas's, that after the 5th of March, irrespective of the results, your CCM party will still be in government. I want you to be cognizant of that fact, because there is some people that is going around saying that this election will change the government such foolishness. I am saying to you, residents of St. Thomas's and residents of Jessups, this election is not about changing the government. This election is simply about whether you want to put someone in opposition or whether you want to have a representative in cabinet. And I'm saying to you that you must ensure that you have a voice in cabinet. I am saying to you that you must ensure that you have a voice that will speak on your behalf in Parliament. That voice, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, must be Keith Scarborough. You, the good residents of St. Thomas's, can be a part of history on the 5th of March. You can be a part of history by ensuring that your constituency become the first constituency on the island of Nevis and in the history of this country to send an MBE to cabinet and to parliament. You must create history in St. Thomas's and in Jessups by ensuring that you strengthen the hand of your government and ensuring that your government have all 5 seats on the island of Nevis. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very critical election. This election is critical because when you check the record of the representative of St. Thomas's, your representative of St. Thomas's would have spent more time in opposition than in government. And I want you to change that record. I want you to turn a new page here in St. Thomas's. I want you to turn back the hand of time from being in opposition to being in government and to being in cabinet. You have a choice to make. And I am encouraging you to make a wise choice. I am encouraging you to make the right choice. I know that many of you here in Jessups and in St. Thomas's have been stalwart of the NRP. You have been committed to the NRP for many years. And while you have been committed to the NRP, I want you to recognize that you must also be committed to yourselves, to your children, and to your grandchildren. I want you to ensure that the legacy that you leave behind for yourself and your children must be a new page. And I'm saying to you that that new page must be to ensure that you send Keith Scarborough to cabinet to be your voice and to be a representative in St. Thomas's. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Premier would have said that he have already selected the chair for Keith Scarborough. I want you, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, not to disappoint. I want you to ensure that come the 6th of March, that Keith Scarborough will occupy that chair. I want you to ensure that come the 6th of March, that you will have a voice that will speak on your behalf. Now, Keith Scarborough, ladies and gentlemen, is an honorable man. He's a decent man. He is someone who is within the community. You know him. He has been around you. And I'm saying to you that if you allow him the chance to represent you, he will represent you with pride and with passion. He continued to say to you the many initiatives that he intends to undertake in your constituency. He has said that he wants to ensure that there are activities in sports, in community development, in social development. He has said to you that he wants to give away all of his constituency allowance. He has said to you he wants to be the voice of the people in St. Thomas's. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your CCM party is 2+ years in this term. And I want you to recognize that while this election is only a by-election for the constituency of St. Thomas's, your CCM party will have another 3 years in government. And we are asking you to send King Keith Vincent Scarborough to join us for the next 3 years. Allow him that privilege to be your voice. Allow him that privilege to represent you in Parliament and in Cabinet. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to support and to endorse King Keith Vincent Scarborough. We are here to say to you that you cannot go wrong with your CCM party. And you certainly will not go wrong by electing Keith Scarborough come the 5th of March. Our message is simple. And we want you to think seriously about it. We want you to recognize this opportunity. We want you to understand that this choice should not be a difficult one. We want you, the residents of Jessups, to allow Keith Scarborough this privilege to serve you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a choice to make. I believe that this choice is an easy one. I believe that while you ponder on this decision, I want you also to think about Nevis, this land that you love so much. I want you to think about the future of your country. I want you to think about the development of your country. I want you to understand and to recognize that with Keith Scarborough, we expect that we will have greater development and greater progress in this constituency. He will be your voice. He will be your champion. He will be the one who will sit in Parliament and in Cabinet that will make that claim on your behalf. So, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, we call upon you to do the right thing. We call upon you to go to the polls on the 5th of March. And while you might be thinking, NRP, that you have done over the many years, we want you to vote for the hammer. We want you to put your X next to the hammer, next to Keith Scarborough. We want you to ensure that on the 5th of March, Jessups will vote overwhelmingly for Keith Scarborough and send him to Cabinet and send him to Parliament. Thank you, good night, and may God bless.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you very much, the Honorable Spencer Brand. And as the song says, would you sit back and watch things go by and slip by idly? We are reiterating to the people of Jessups Village and the people of St. Thomas's Parish that you have the best opportunity now to send your representative to government. And we are going to keep saying that over and over and over until Wednesday night. Because we want on Thursday morning, when you go to the polls, that you have it clear in your head that you have one decision to make. And that decision is to vote for the party in government, is to vote for the hammer, and is to vote for keep this and that Scarborough MBE to send him to government. Now, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, you heard from the Honorable Spencer Brand. You heard about all of the roads that have been done in the St. Thomas's Parish area. And every time we have these meetings, we must talk about that highway that we have in Nevis. That highway that is like no other road on the island of Nevis. When you get over to Cotton Ground and you drive onto that highway, it feels like you're gone international. It doesn't feel like you're in Nevis. And ladies and gentlemen, before I bring the other speaker on, I want to remind us as well, because at all of these meetings, we continue to remind you that a lot has been happening in the parish of St. Thomas's. And we are here in the heart of Jessups Village. We are here in Jessups. And we want to remind you, because we want to tell you that irrespective of what the naysayers and the noisemakers are saying to you, that a lot of things have been happening. There has been development galore in Nevis and especially in St. Thomas's Parish. Now you here in Jessups Village, you are wonderfully poised, because you know what? You are sandwiched between the Four Seasons Resort and Paradise Beach Resort. And of course, we have seen a total transformation of the Four Seasons Resort. $60 million in investment. Something we haven't seen on Nevis for a very, very long time. 60 million US. And you can convert that to EC. And you will see what you get in terms of the EC dollar. But we have that taking place right here in the parish of St. Thomas's. When we go next door, we have the lovely Paradise, which itself has been transformed. And of course, we have people, a lot of people from Jessups Village, working at Four Seasons, working at Paradise, making the dollars. And as I continue to plug away, I must remind you again that the tourism season for this time around is booming. It's like no other. The Four Seasons Resort, they're having a season, a record season, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best, if not the best, in the history of the resort. Of course, they've gone out of festive. But with what is happening there, it's like they're going to be in festive until July. That has never, ever happened. And it's happening right here in St. Thomas's Parish under your caring administration. Ladies and gentlemen, the owners of the Four Seasons would not have invested and injected $60 million if they didn't have confidence in the island administration. And it's because of that confidence, it is because of the environment that we have created in this beautiful island why we could have such an injection. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with all that is happening in St. Thomas's Parish, a lot more can happen when you send your candidate to government. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring that man who was nominated on Tuesday at the Cotton Ground Community Center, the man who is looking for your support, the support of the people of Jessups, the support of all of St. Thomas's. I present to you Keith King, this and that Scarborough, MBE.
We always say there is love among us.
Now is the time to show that we're serious. Let us all pull together as one
to help eradicate starvation.
Now is the time to do the things you said. Now is the time to help in every way. Now is the time
To show that you really care.
Now is the time
To show some unity.
Now is the time
And humanity.
Now is the time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to all of you who would have traveled from far and near to be with us here this evening. A special good evening to the good people of St. Thomas's Parish, but more particularly to the good people of Jessups Village. I want, before I go on, to say congratulations and how pleased I am with the good sound that Jesus Zimba has been providing for us throughout this campaign. We were in Cotton Ground and the sound was beautiful. We went to Barnsgot, it was even more beautiful. We went to Quadcode, again it was beautiful. And when we were in Westbury, everybody told us they could have heard us all the way here in Jessups Village. So Zimba, I want to big you up and thank you for that wonderful sound that you have given us thus far. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a bit under the weather tonight, but they say when the going gets tough, the tough have to get going. I want to join with my colleagues in saying a heartfelt thank you to Mr. Joseph Parry. I did it in Cotton Ground. I did it in Barnsgot. I did it in Quadcode. I did it in Westbury. And tonight, I'm happy to be doing it here in Jessups Village. Because, ladies and gentlemen, to be serving a constituency for over 30 years is not easy. It is a serious sacrifice that you're making, a serious commitment, and it calls for hard work. And ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, although me and Mr. Parry was on different sides of the table, we had great respect for each other. Great respect for each other. And I know the sacrifice he would have had to make to be serving the constituency for such a long period of time. Because, like I say, it is not easy. It may seem easy to you who are looking from the outside. But I can tell you, and I am not in there yet, it is not easy. It is a difficult process. So I want to thank Mr. Parry for his service to the good people of St. Thomas's Parish. Ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, we are facing a by-election on Thursday, March 5th. Next week, Thursday.
And it really is a simple election. I have spent time going house to house throughout the constituency. And I have explained to all of the persons that I have spoken to. And I am satisfied that they understand the message. They are well aware of the message that we are bringing. And what is that message? The message is that the Concerned Citizens Movement is in power for the next 3 years. Nothing that happens in this by-election can change that. Nothing can change that. This is merely an election to fill the seat that is left by Mr. Joseph Parry. And I have said elsewhere that he may have been a miracle, a golden opportunity that Mr. Parry chose to resign at this particular time. Because what his resignation does is to give the good people of St. Thomas's Parish an opportunity that they may not have had otherwise. And what I mean by that is this. With the good work that the Concerned Citizens Movement is doing in government, both at the local level and at the federal level, it says to me that the good people of St. George's would vote for the Honorable Eric Evelyn for many, many years to come. It says to me that the good people of St. James's Parish will vote for the Honorable Alexis Jessups for many, many years to come. It says to me that the good people of St. John's will vote for the party leader, the Premier, Minister of Foreign Affairs, for many, many years to come. And ladies and gentlemen, I am confident that the good people of St. Paul's will vote even stronger the next time round for the Honorable Spencer Brand. Simply because of the good work that the Concerned Citizens Movement is doing in government, both at the local and the federal level. What I am saying to you, I am just being told that the person who is driving PA 1516, the police wants you to move your vehicle. PA 1516, the police wants you to move your vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, because of the good work of the Concerned Citizens Movement administration at the local and the federal level, it is evidently clear that the CCM party would remain in government for a long, long time to come. A long, long time. And that is why I said that I believe Mr. Parry resigning at this time gives the good people of St. Thomas's Parish a golden opportunity to become part of the administration of Nevis, to get their own representative inside of government, to fight for their concerns, to ensure that their voices are heard. That is what this election is about, you know, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups. I understand quite clearly the loyalty that some persons have to the NRP. I understand that. And if this was an election to change the Nevis Island administration, I could understand that you want to vote for your party. You're hoping to change the government so that your party could get into power. But this election is not about that. You cannot change the government in this by-election. They're there for the next 3 years. What this election is about is to fill the vacancy that is left by the resignation of Mr. Joseph Parry. And ladies and gentlemen, I have said throughout the constituency that myself and my opponent wish to see St. Thomas's develop. We both want to see St. Thomas's do well. The only difference is, and it's a big difference, if she wins, she go into the opposition. She can do absolutely nothing for you. Nothing at all. If I win, I go straight into the cabinet and start to agitate for the good people of St. Thomas's Parish. That is the difference. I understand your loyalty, like I said before. But I ask the question, who is your loyalty to? Your loyalty must be to your children, your grandchildren, your constituency, yourselves, before any party. Because the party that you knew yesterday was the party of Simeon Daniel, was the party of Victor J, was the party of the Honorable Joseph Parry. What you have now, ladies and gentlemen, is a party of Roberto Hector, who can't win a seat ever again in this country. You have a party of Patrice Nisbet, who I can assure you will not win again in these federal elections. You have a party of Kelvin Daly, who cannot win in Charlestown or St. John's. So I ask you the question, who is your loyalty to? Who is your loyalty to? Because Mr. Parry have resigned. He's no more. He's gone. So you, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups Village, your loyalty must be to your children and grandchildren, your constituency and yourselves. That's where your loyalty must lie. All political parties comes after that. I don't care whether it's CCM, NRP, Labour, PAM or PLP. Your children's future depends on your vote on March 5th. Because you may take it as a joke, as something simple, as a party supporter. But the decision you make on March 5th could have serious repercussions on your children's future. Serious. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that it is unfair. It is unfair to place your children in the hands of persons who are going to sit on the opposition benches. It makes no sense to nobody. When you have an opportunity to send a representative into government to get things done for you, why would you choose somebody to sit in opposition? Because you will just complain. That's all you'll be doing, complaining. But, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, you have an opportunity, a real opportunity for the first time, and an opportunity that exists for a long time to come. Because if you let this opportunity slide, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure it will come back. Because what you're voting for in this election is simple, like I said before. You either vote to send somebody into cabinet to voice your concerns, or you vote for somebody to go in opposition who really cannot help you. It's a simple decision. A simple decision. And I'm saying to you, the good people of Jessups Village, The decision you make on March 5th is going to be your legacy. That is going to be your legacy. In years and years to come, the decision you make on March 5th will be your legacy. You must say to your children why you chose to vote to put somebody on the opposition benches. All when you're dead and gone, that will be your legacy. The children of St. Thomas's Parish must know that the reason why their representative is on the opposition benches is because you chose on March 5th to vote for that. However, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's hope. You can dream again. Because if you vote to send a representative into cabinet, you can rest assured that even when you go on to the great beyond, your legacy will live on. The children of St. Thomas's will know that on March 5th, when the opportunity was there, you voted to give them a greater opportunity. That's what this is about. You voted to give those children and grandchildren a greater opportunity. Because, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, I have said throughout the constituency that this election is not about me. It is not about me. I am here trying my best to represent you, to ensure that your concerns are being addressed inside cabinet. You would have seen the wonderful job that Alexis Jessups has been doing in St. James's. Only 2 years has passed, and you have seen the wonderful job that Eric Evelyn is doing in St. George's. You would have seen the magnificent job our party leader is doing in St. John's. And of course, you would have seen the great job that the Honorable Spencer Brand is doing in Charlestown. We as a party are doing all that we can to ensure St. Thomas's is not left behind. But with your representative on the inside, much more can be accomplished. Much more can be accomplished. Ladies and gentlemen, I have outlined some plans as I go along the constituency. I have said to the good people of St. Thomas's Parish that now that we are enjoying this peace, it is time to revive the sports and the culture here in St. Thomas's Parish. Because here in St. Thomas's Parish, we're the champions of sports and culture. You could recall what transpired in Bansgott. Fifers after fifers, quattro players after quattro players. In sports, cricketers after cricketers. And I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, that I have said that I want to take my entire constituency allowance, all of it, and give it towards the development of sports and culture in St. Thomas's Parish. Because my candidacy is about you. It's not about me. It is about you. I have said that the Pioneers cricket team that now exists, I want to change the name to St. Thomas's United Pioneers cricket team. And why do I want to do that? I want to do that because I recognize that Jessups no longer have a cricket team. Bansgott doesn't have a cricket team. Westbury doesn't have a cricket team. The northern side of of Craddock Road doesn't have a cricket team. So I want to name the team St. Thomas's United Pioneers cricket team. And I chose Pioneers because only in Cotton Ground the team exists. A Pioneers team exists. What that will do is to broaden the bench, is to make persons in the other villages feel a lot more comfortable. Joining the Pioneers team gives the team more options. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is only until Jessups could get back the team, or Code could get a team, or Barnscott, or Westbury. Until then, we shall call it St. Thomas's United Pioneers Cricket Team. And to that, I will contribute $500 every month, every year that I am their representative. And the same goes for the football team. St. Thomas's United Pioneers football team. The basketball team. St. Thomas's United CJ Rebels basketball team. I have said, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to resurface the courts, the basketball courts here in Jessups and Barnscott, and Cotton Ground. And have those courts lighted so that the young people could enjoy the courts again on the lights. I have said I want to put some seatings so while they play, their supporters could be watching the games. And my colleagues in government have assured me that they are going to support that move. I have said that the Cotton Ground playfield, I want to put a pavilion on that playfield. Seating, washrooms, lunchrooms, kitchen, bar, the whole works. Because, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to host a regional competition, you must have two playfields with facilities. So I want to make Cotton Ground that second playfield. The walls that surround that playfield is falling down. They are falling down. I have said that I want to have those walls fixed in short order. And ladies and gentlemen, I have said that once that field is completed, I want to name that ground. I want to name that playfield after Derek Ricardo Parry, because he would have contributed tremendously to cricket here in St. Thomas's Parish. Not only St. Thomas's Parish, but in Nevis and a whole. Mr. Parry, when he was Premier of the country, decided that is something he wants to do. And I think it's a very good idea. So I will join him. Get that playfield up to date and name it after Ricardo Parry. Derek Ricardo Parry. The pavilion that we are going to build, I say when it is completed, I will name it after Livingston Lawrence, Livingston Jabada Lawrence, because he too would have contributed tremendously to sports here in St. Thomas's Parish. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who may not know, here in Jessups, the Cahoon Estate, the Cahoon Housing Development is now shining like a beacon. It is shining like a beacon because the Concerned Citizens Movement Administration have not only put wonderful homes on that property, they have put in wonderful roads. And in that housing development lives my partner from school, King Miko. And I have said that given the opportunity, I will name that housing development the Crefton E.G. Warner MBE Housing Development, because I believe he would have contributed more than enough to the development of culture here in this country for him to get that housing project named after him. I have said that I want to adopt a student from the St. Thomas's Primary School to the tune of $500 per month for a year. Every month for a year, I service the needs of a St. Thomas's Primary School student. And why do I say 1 year? Because I intend to change that student the next year, help another student. And the third year, help another student. And it goes on and on and on as long as I am the representative of St. Thomas's Parish. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Jessups, I have heard the cries of the fishermen. I have heard the cries. Only this afternoon, I spoke to 2 of them. And they were complaining bitterly of the need for some fish pot wire. And I have said that I will do everything that I can to ensure that the fishermen in Jessups get as much assistance as possible. And how do I intend to do that? By asking friendly governments, because I know there are a number of friendly governments throughout the world who believe in the fishing industry, who will be more than willing to give generously to the fishermen here in Jessups Village. So I will make it my business to go and seek help for the fishermen here in Jessups Village. Not only for fish pot wire, but for instruments that is needed on the various boats here in Jessups Village and St. Thomas's Parish as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, the playfield in Jessups Village needs lighting. It was lighted before, but for some reason, some of the lights were blown, some were taken down. And I was asked by some persons in Jessup Village to please assist. So that too is high on my list of priorities for the good people of Jessups. My colleagues have given me the assurance that they will try as much as possible to ensure that the things I promised the good people of St. Thomas's Parish are put in place, because some of them are very simple. They are not difficult projects that I am talking about. Naming something off somebody is not difficult. Putting some lights up is not difficult. Helping the good fishermen in Jessups is not that difficult. Resurfacing the basketball courts is not difficult. My colleagues in government has given me the assurance and have said to you publicly that they're going to support all of these initiatives. Now you would recognize, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, that I have been offering you a number of things that I intend to do for you. And ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that on the other side, they cannot offer you anything. They cannot offer you anything. Because if they win the elections, they just go and sit on the opposition benches. They cannot offer you anything. And that is very important to note. It is very important to note that you have 2 candidates, one vying for government and one vying for Mr. Parry's seat. Because I keep telling people, I am not vying for Mr. Parry's seat. She is. Mr. Parry's seat is on the opposition benches. That is what she is vying for. I am vying to go into government to join my colleagues. That is what I am trying to do. She is fighting to get Mr. Parry's seat. I want you to understand the difference. And I well understand, like I said earlier, the loyalty that some of you may be feeling, because you would have voted for the NRP for a number of years. But I am saying to you that the situation warranties that you look seriously at your vote on March 5th. I have said to you elsewhere that you need to go to the Lord in prayer If you're finding it difficult to vote for CCM because of your loyalty, take it to the Lord in prayer. Go to Him before you make that X and ask Him to show you the way, the truth, and the light. Ask Him to grant you the wisdom and the courage to help you make that decision you are about to make. And I know the Lord answers prayers, and He will answer you in a positive way because He knows, the good Lord knows, for you to vote, to put someone on the opposition benches when you have a golden opportunity to put that individual into the cabinet has to be a sin. He knows that in the eyes of the Lord Himself, that has to be a sin. Who in their right mind could take a golden opportunity as this? A golden opportunity. And I remind you, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, this vote is not only for a by-election. This vote that you're going to make will go towards a federal election that is coming up in a few months. You have the opportunity to send a serious signal that you're satisfied with the work that the Concerned Citizens Movement is doing at the federal level. You're satisfied. Ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, it is an opportunity to make your legacy right. It is an opportunity to leave a wonderful legacy for your children and grandchildren. And it is an opportunity to ensure that your constituency move forward in a positive way along with all the other constituencies here on Nevis. I want to take this opportunity to say to you one last time that on March 5th, take hold of this golden opportunity. Don't see it as no vote for NRP or no vote for CCM. You must see it as an opportunity for you, the good people of St. Thomas's Parish. And once you do that, all will be well. Because this election is not about me. It is about the good people of St. Thomas's Parish. It is about the development of the constituency of St. Thomas's Parish. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for listening to me. And I hope that you do the right thing on March 5th when the time comes. Thank you.
We always say there is love among us.
Now is the time to show that we are serious. Let us all pull together as one
to help eradicate starvation.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, now is the time. Now is your time to send someone to the Nevis Island administration. You heard the man for himself, for yourself. He's a little bit under the weather, but he had a very long run tonight. Because we know that this area, Jessup's box is always a huge box. And we want, when the votes are counted on Thursday night, we want by 9 o'clock, the latest, that Keith, this and that Scarborough is declared the winner for Nevis 5, St. Thomas's Parish. You heard him. Every night he come on the platform, he gives away his constituency allowance before he gets it. He gives it away before he gets it. So it shows that the man is committed to the people of St. Thomas's, and that is why he's looking for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank King This and That. And I believe that the next time, in the next week or so, he will be called the Honorable Keith This and That Scarborough MBE. All right? We want by this time, so next week, he's going to be called Honorable Keith this and that Scarborough. Ladies and gentlemen, the meeting is going well. We are still warming up. And remember, ladies, I want to say, before we go any further, I want to say good night to all the lovely people who are following us online from all over the globe. It's good to have you tuned in and getting a taste of what's happening here at the bottom of Jessups Village tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, time is moving. We still have 2 more speakers. And so, I want to take this opportunity to bring to the microphone one of our very dynamic speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, the action man, the Deputy Premier of Nevis, the Deputy Political Leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement, the Big Blue Machine, the party that says people matter most. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Honorable Alexis Zook Jeffers.
Prince of Darkness walks behind me. But he will never, 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 never control me. Today I live a life of sorrow, working for the joys of a bright tomorrow. Carrying my cross, carrying my cross, carrying my cross. Wisdom, show me the right. Guide me safely through the night.
Good night to the people of Jessups. Man, it's so good to be in this proud village called Jessup, or Jessups. You know, we've been waiting to come here to bring this message to the people of Jessup. I want to say to you that tonight we're here to lend our support to Keith, this and that Scarborough. We've been throughout the whole of St. Thomas's, Cotton Ground, Bansgut, Craddock Road, and tonight we're here in Jessup. And you know, the message has been the same. We have been saying from day one that this by-election is one like no other. It is not a general election. It is not an island-wide election. It is a by-election, and I do believe this is the second time in the history of Nevis that we have seen such an election. This one is different in that we have just about 3 years left in this particular term. And what we have been saying to you and this and that clearly said it tonight. I believe everyone would have said it before I came. That this is not an election whereby the CCM will be out of government the next day. So that being said, we have been saying it from day one, and we continue to say it, and we'll say it until March 5th, that when you go to vote in this election on the 5th of March, we are asking you to vote for Keith, this and that Scarborough. Give him those 3 years to continue working on your behalf until the next local election. Now, I want to say this evening, I'll say a lot about Keith, this and that Scarborough. But that will be a bit later. Because even though it's a by-election, it is an election that speaks clearly as to who we believe is the best party to govern the affairs of Nevis. This is an election that is going to put the CCM against the NRP. Who is better or who is not as good? It also speaks to leadership in the island of Nevis. So when it's all said and done, I do believe that the decision that you'll make come March 5th should be a clear one. But I want to say to you this evening, we'll talk some politics, because when you're campaigning, you bring all the issues to the people. I want to say to you that the CCM party have demonstrated to you over our 33 years of existence in this country, or this island, that we are the best party to govern the affairs of the island of Nevis. And I say that because you can compare us in government as to what we would have accomplished. You can compare us in government and out of government as to how we have looked after the affairs of the people of the island of Nevis. Now I want to say to you that CCM has been around, as I said before, for just about 33 years. Here in Jessups and in the parish of St. Thomas's, you have voted for the NRP party, and that is your choice. But they have been around for just about 50 years. This year marked 50 years. And I want to say to you, if you did not realize, come the 5th of March, whatever happens, and I do believe that this and that is going to win, but whatever happens, it is the first time in the history of any political party, proud political party in this island, that the leader of that party will not be in the Nevis Island administration. Examine your history. Look at your history. The NRP has always had the leader of the NRP in the NIA. The CCM has always had the leader of the CCM in the Nevis Island Assembly. I want to say to you that something has gone wrong with the NRP party. There's no doubt about that. And if it is that after 50 years, you cannot have a leader of a proud party in the Nevis Island administration, something is definitely wrong. Something is wrong, but also something is going right on the other end of it. It means that even here in Jessups, the people of Jessups are beginning to realize that the NRP continues to fail. And I don't blame the Honorable Joseph Parry. I give him all credit for what he has done as a leader and as the representative of the parish of St. Thomas's. He has done his best. We want to wish him well. But even during the time Joseph Parry has been there, he has had a bunch of guys around him who would have created havoc in this country. They have created difficulties not only for the leader then, Joseph Parry, but also for the entire NRP party. And that is why I started by saying, compare both parties, the CCM and the NRP, both in and out of government, and you realize the stark difference in both parties. And that is why we are bringing the message to the heart of Jessup and telling you that you have voted for the NRP over the years. It is time to look in a different direction. If you're voting for Joseph Parry, I believe the time has come for you to look in a different direction. I have to give him credit. That is Joseph Parry. He was in opposition for a number of years. And he came back into government and he did this road up to Banscott, down to Cotton Ground. That's fine. I commend him. Build community centers. I commend him. But when it's all said and done, he's no longer there. He is now saying that he's done. And they have chosen a young lady who, I want to ask you in Jessup, have you seen her done anything in Jessups for you? Have you seen her around here even involved in any community group? I don't want to spend no time on her because I know that when you spend time on people, you're trying to boost them up. I can't boost her up because the NRP has been trying to boost her up and can't even get her to the right point. So when it's all said and done, I won't spend no time on her. But I want to say to you, here in Jessup, my simple and clear message is that Keith, this and that Scarborough has come to you over the last 4 elections, 2011, 2013, 2017, and now, as the Lord would have it, he has come in 2020. And he has said to you that he has been there. He has run against Joseph Parry. Now is the time to give him a chance because the CCM, his party is in government. And his party is ready and willing to support Keith, that's this and that, to provide for you, to get the job done in terms of what he has presented as his agenda for St. Thomas Parish. And he has laid it out clearly. And I will say to you that as I stand here tonight, I am willing to give him all my support. Because you know why? I love the people of St. Thomas's too. And the same way I can speak for my CCM party, this is not a CCM party that looks after just one constituency or two constituencies, 3 or 4. We look after the entire island of Nevis. And the record is there to show. Because we do believe if you live in Jessups, Barnscott, you live in Cotton Ground, Westbury, you are not half of a citizen. You are not 3/4 of a citizen. You are a full-fledged citizen of Nevis. And as such, everything that this island has to offer, you should also partake and benefit of. And that is why we went up to Cahoon and did that wonderful housing project. You heard it before that we could have come into government and said, Lord, St. Thomas's don't vote for us, so we're not studying them. We could have said that, but we are not that type of people in this party. We came into government, we did that project, and even though it was started and no infrastructure was there, the first thing we did within the first few months was to get proper infrastructure into phase 1. We didn't stop there, we went on and completed phase 2, built brand new roads. You go over there right now. It mirrors what we have done over in St. James at the Seed of Your Housing Development. We believe that proper infrastructure is what it takes to make a community to be a well-manicured, prosperous community. The children who are raised in that community, therefore, would have access to good infrastructure, feel good about the environment. And that's why I'm proud that we have taken this stance that every community here on the island of Nevis will benefit from the efforts of the Concerned Citizens Movement. Not only that, I'm not here to say that we have done all we could have done. There's more to be done. And that is why I said to you that if you were to elect Keith this and that Scarborough, all that he said he is going to do, we'll lend him the support. Give him that overwhelming support to get it done. That's what we're here for. We want, when it's all said and done, anybody who visits the island of Nevis, drives through Cotton Ground, drives through Jessup, Barnscott, they would say that Nevis is paradise on earth. That is what we want to say to you. And I talk this way because this island, let me tell you something about Nevis. Nobody can tell me Nevis is less than any other country or any island in this world. When I go anywhere, I speak proudly of Nevis because I love this island. I love every square inch of this island. And that is why when we get up, not we, but let me speak for myself. When I get up every morning, I think about something I can do to make this island better and transform the lives of the people of the island of Nevis. And I want to tell you that I do believe this and that have that same feeling as well. You know why I think so? For over 40 years he has been competing in Calypso in Nevis, composing and performing for 40 years. 40 years is a long, long time. Many have come and departed. Many have come and left the race. Many have come and quit. But this and that continues to press on. He continued to press on, and someone say, win or lose, he comes back every year. That's a man who has a passion for what he does. That's a man who has a passion for culture in this island. And a man who believes that when you go on the stage, go out and represent your island and represent it well. I want to also say to you that this and that hasn't always been in Calypso alone, you know. He has been the president of the Nevis Cricket Association, and you didn't have the kind of fiasco, debacle, and all of the things that went on during this last election for the president that they had, or they elected. This and that would have been there. I never hear about this kind of confusion yet. But that tells you something about the man. And I would have seen him at the park when you have cricket. And cricket was well organized at that time too. You had many different divisions playing, different matches playing, sorry. Because he has been there and he has done that and he has worked hard. And I believe a man who has shown that he has what it takes. Give him that chance. Give him that vote. Come May 5th. May March 5th, sorry. So this and that. I'll come to him time and time again. I'll come back to him. But let me talk some politics. I said before that CCM, compared to the NRP, can boast of being a better negotiator than the NRP party. I want to say that again, that CCM can boast that they are a better negotiator than the NRP party. Let me give you some examples. Between 2006 and 2009, when this same NRP party was in a relationship with the Labour Party, I want to say to you that over 81 projects came to the Federation from all kinds of donor agencies and donor countries throughout the world. Japan, France, the European Union, Taiwan, all over the world, England, the United Kingdom. Grant projects came to this island. And the total value of those projects was $229 million. The stats are there and we can produce it for you. But during that time, 81 projects, grant projects, free money came into this country. They all came into Bastia. Let me tell you how much Nevis got, or how many Nevis got. Nevis got a fat zero, none. $229 million came into this country. I'm talking about free money. Now, at the time the NRP was the government in Nevis, they were in bed with the Labour Party. What did they get? Nothing. And that is why I tell you CCM is a better negotiator, and here is why. We decided in 2013, because of the pain and pressure that was being brought on the people of Nevis and your CCM administration, we decided it is time for us as a party and as an administration to look after the best interests of Nevis. So we decided to join Team Unity. We joined Team Unity, and as a result of that, we have gotten more in 5 years than the NRP has gotten in 40 years, being in and out of the federal parliament and cabinet in St. Kitts. They have been down there for 40 years, from 1980 to 2020, and we have been there since 2015 until 2020, and we have gotten more in 5 years than they have got in a whole 40 years. The facts are there. I don't stand here to bring any gimmicks to you. I bring facts to you. And the facts and the truth, let me tell you something about the truth. There's no way to twist it. There's no way to turn it. The truth is the truth, and it remains the truth. Can't be nothing else. And I want to tell you, in 5 years, we have gotten monies out of the federal arrangement. Monies. You go across to Wally, you see that pier across the Wally water taxi facility. Monies for that. You go up to Joycelyn Libert Primary Kitchen, that last kitchen that any primary school would have gotten in Nevis. That was built with monies realized from the federal arrangement. You go down to Bath, down to the government house. We came into government in 2006, met that building unfinished. As a matter of fact, let me give you the history quickly. It was started, the renovation that is, by your CCM administration in 2006. NRP came in, abandoned it. No pride. No pride in that administration. Abandoned it. We came back in government, took it up in 2015 and completed it. You go up to the veterinary clinic, monies from the federal arrangement. The abattoir, monies from the federal arrangement. Go down to Charlestown, the extension of the finger pier, what we call the water, not the water taxi, the tender pier. Extension of that, monies from the federal arrangement. Go down to the Treasury building, that brand new facility that we just opened, monies from the federal arrangement. Go up to Newcastle Police Station, monies from the federal arrangement. I get so tired and all talking about the money, tired and all talking about the project. But that's not all. Hanley's Road, Braziers, Shaw's Road, even this road across here by Cotton Ground that was newly renovated. Road projects up and down Nevis, monies from the federal arrangement. The $30 million water enhancement project, monies from the federal government. And let me tell you something, it's not monies from the treasury of St. Kitts, These are monies that are duly, not duly, but monies that belongs to the people of Nevis. That is all money. Not no taxpayers' money from St. Kitts. Those are money that are rightfully yours. I have heard many times we are going to St. Kitts to get what? Or fair share, they say. Fair share. Well, I don't change that. I change it. We are going to St. Kitts and we have gone down there, I should say, and got no rightful share. But there's more to come. Because a federal election is coming and we'll be back to the people of Jessups. And we are telling you this time around, after 20 years of voting for a gentleman from up in St. James, who the people of St. James have said, we don't want him to represent us. We are not voting for him. You have voted for him down here. We are saying to you this time around, after 20 years of voting for Patrice, it is time to tell him enough is enough. You haven't brought a thing to the people of Jessup. Nothing to the people of St. Thomas's. Nothing to the people of Nevis. So what are you going to continue to vote for him for? You can't go and vote for him this time. This time I'm saying I am coming. But I am coming back to say that. Tonight is about this and that. But we are coming back, because this is the time when the change has to be made. A change for the betterment of Nevis. A change to remove a voice in St. Kitts that is like a Spanish station. Every time Mark Brantley says something, he cut up and counter what Brantley says. Every time Van says something, he get up and counter what Van says. Every time Nevis is mentioned, they don't want nothing over there. That is what he keeps saying down there. So we're going to come back, and we're going to come back to him and make sure people of Jessup, this time around we are calling on you. But we are calling you early. When I say early, on the 5th of March, that is when you're going to send the message to the NRP and all in the NRP who have sought to fight against what is good for Nevis. And all those who have sought to undermine Joseph Parry over the years. Because that's what they did with him. Joseph Parry got tired of it and said, going home. That's what he has said, that they have undermined enough. So gone, I can't take it no more. That's what he has said. And I want to say to you, listen to me carefully. I know we come with a lot of hype, but there's a message in the hype. When it comes to the island of Nevis, when you send anyone to represent you anywhere, whether it's in cricket, football, netball, any sporting discipline, even debating, the debating team has gone up to Montserrat. They're gone as a team, one voice. One voice gone to Montserrat. You won't hear one of the team members get up and say they're arguing against their own team member. So that is why we are saying this time around, when it comes to the federal election, which we are going to come back to talk about, but it all wrapped up in the same reason why we are here. We are here to support this and that, yes, but we're also saying start with this and that. Send them to cabinet to work on your behalf. And when we are done with that and the federal elections are called, our hands will be strengthened to the point where we'll send 3 representatives to St. Kitts to bring home the bacon for Nevis. It is a clear message, a very clear message. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go on a little further. Because we've been talking about our accomplishments as a party. Now, this and that is not there to speak of the accomplishment as good as I can. I am hoping in 3 years' time, when he comes back to campaign, he will speak with authority about his accomplishment and his government accomplishments. But I want to say to you tonight that we have been talking about housing over the last couple of meetings. I will say to you, the last party to talk about housing in the island of Nevis is that NRP party there that is probably going to come here to campaign to you too. But they're the last to talk about housing. What we have done in housing since 1992 is to revolutionize housing in this island. We have made our young men and young women proud homeowners of houses or properties here on the island of Nevis. I can speak to the NRP's period of time in office, and I'll tell you
flatly and plainly that there are many people over at Cherry Garden who cannot say they own a home over there. I will say to you, there are persons right among us who own a home, an affordable income home here on the island of Davis, who are here right now and who are proud owner of a home and a title to show that they own that property. Those who do not own a property cannot speak that boldly, cannot be that proud about it. It is something of significance when you can wave your title. You know, some time ago we were saying waving keys. I think I ain't happy was saying wave your keys. Wave your keys what? We gone beyond that. We at another level. And that's why we say, once you have your title and you can wave it, I don't mean walk through the street of Charleston and wave it. Because most times, if you have a mortgage, it is at the bank, that title. But of course, your name is on it. And you can do so much with that title. So many things. As a matter of fact, I said to you before, there are persons who would want to refinance, to do many things. Buy a car, send their children to school, do all kind of things. It is yours so you can refinance. And that's when you have that pride of walking into the bank and say to your banker, I want to get some extra money. Imagine you go down to the bank with your key in your hand, put it on that banker's desk and say, I want some extra money. They're going to laugh at you. They will laugh. There's nothing they could do with the key. But there's something they can do with a title. Imagine you have your title and you have an illness and you can go to the bank and say, Lord, save my life. I need to go abroad to seek medical attention. And of course, they will accede to that because you have that power. And that is why we believe our way of doing business is completely different to the NRP. We want our people to be proud homeowners, proud citizens, and proud to walk the streets of Charlestown. Hold your head high because I own my property. Not a soul could take it away. You got to pay your mortgage, though. That is the bottom line. Once you pay your mortgage, not a soul could take it away. And that is why we think differently. And there's more to come. There's more to come. Let me tell you what we did with those persons who the NRP would have left without a title. We came into government, over 80 persons in Cherry Garden didn't have a title to their property. We said to them, we're going to offer you a mortgage relief program. What you do, whatever your balance is on that property, we're going to give you 15% discount. Some people save upwards of $30,000 off their balance. They were able to take that balance to a financial institution. What we also said to them, all of the paperwork, all of the legal work, we, the administration, the CCM administration, will cover that. That is how you give people a hand up. Not no handout as NRP did. It was a hand up. We took you through the program. Some people were able to realize a title being put into their name and they have it at the bank and that is theirs. Can't take it away. All they have to do is to pay their mortgage. That is how you look after people. Not just give them something and then there's a situation that develops and they are left wanting. We look after people. We have done so in many areas. I don't want to go into our social programs because Eric is the minister responsible. But we have looked after the young, the not so old, and the old and the elderly. Let me say elderly in this island. We have looked after everybody because we believe, as I said before, every man, woman, boy, and girl is a full-fledged citizen of the island of Nevis. And you must realize the fruits of your labor in this island. People work hard, so they must be compensated. And by compensating them, looking after them, making sure that they're realizing their dreams is what we are all about. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we have another speaker tonight, and I could go on for long, but I won't tonight. Let me just talk a few things about this and that again, because I am re-emphasizing what he said. He said he's going to build a stadium over there at Cotton Ground Playfield. Name it after Derek Ricardo Parry. Brilliant move. And it suggests to me that the man is thinking about everybody. He's not thinking about NRP. He's not thinking about just CCM. He also said he's going to resurface basketball court in Cotton Ground, light it up, resurface the court here in Jessup, light it up. He's going to do many things you talk about, combining all of the sporting clubs and so forth. He would have done a wonderful job. I don't want to further emphasize, but he has done a wonderful job of putting that to you. And I believe you do understand. And irrespective of what you might think about this and that, he is not Alexis Jessups. He is not Mark Brantley. He is not Spencer Brand. He is not Eric Evelyn. He is different to all of us. So he has his pluses. He has his minuses. As do me, as do Mark, as do Eric, as do Spencer. But persons went and voted for all of us. Because you know what? We are all a part of a proud CCM party. And this and that will come among a group of guys who have done good for this island, who continue to work hard for this island. So when he come among us, the only thing he can do is do good and work hard. We're not going to sit and let him do contrary to what we have been doing. So I want to give you the commitment tonight that we are going to show him the pathway that we have used to be successful in government. He is going to learn from the best. We have learned from the best, and we are now learning from one of the better leaders we have had in this island. That's the Honorable Mark Brantley. So once we are all under that same umbrella, I can say to you that Nevis would be in good hands. You know the Allstate company in the United States, that's an insurance company. They have a slogan, you're in good hands with Allstate. You'll be in good hands with your CCM party when this and that joins us on March 5th. You'll be in good hands because we'll continue to press on as a party to make sure this island realizes its true potential. So this and that, I don't think we're going to come back to Jessup. I don't know, but if we don't come back, I want to say to the people of Jessup, thank you in advance. Thank you in advance for voting for Keith, this and that Scarborough. Thank you for making him the newest representative of the Nevis Island Assembly. Thank you for sending it to the cabinet of the Nevis Island Administration. And I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my quota for tonight. I want to say to you, thank you for your support to the CCM party over the years. I have seen some changes down here. We have been getting more and more votes every election. This one coming up on the 5th, we need to get even more than we have gotten in the past. And of course, as we move on to future elections, because I stand here tonight and pledge to you, the good people of Jessups, the good people of St. Thomas's, that your CCM party means business. We mean what we say and we say what we mean. And what we are saying to you, you will be in good hands after the 5th of March. You'll be in the hands of your newest representative, Keith this and that Scarborough. Vote for him, vote for your CCM party, vote for your hammer. Hammer time come March 5th. Thank you for listening and have a good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Deputy Leader, Deputy Premier, the Honorable Alexis Jessups. And you know, as Alexis Jessups was speaking, you know, I am beginning to get warm for the federal campaign. Because as I've been saying all along, after this by-election, we're going to be cruising straight to that federal campaign. And only then, we're going to wake up Nevis. All right? We're warming up. But we're warming up for Thursday. We're warming up for the by-election. We're warming up for Thursday, the 5th day of March, 2020. And remember, ladies and gentlemen of Jessups, this is 2020, and you must have 2020 vision. Whatever you had in the past, you have to look towards the future. And the only future there is in Nevis, the only future there is, the only bright future there is a future with your CCM party. And I know, they have been upset with me every time I said that we're going to be there for a very long time. But I want to let the people of Jessups know again that irrespective of how you feel, I want to remind you that NRP days done. Them days done. And it's about time that you join the bandwagon of the CCM. Because we don't see them getting back in government anytime on the horizon. And I want that message to sink in. Sink in all the heads of the persons who support the NRP. Because our days done. And I can't say it any clearer. Ladies and gentlemen, you know why the days are done? Because the next person I'm going to bring on is the leader of this party. The leader who is continuing to take Nevis onwards and upwards. The leader who all of us in the CCM are rallying with. Because he's a leader who is leading with distinction. And he's a leader who has you at heart. And a leader who has the country of Nevis at heart. And a leader who has the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis at heart. And that is why the Concerned Citizens Movement will continue to win and win and win and win. Because we have your support and we have the support of the Almighty. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome our beloved leader, the leader of Nevis, the leader of the CCM, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley.
Love and hate can never be friends. Oh no, oh no. Here I come with love and not hatred. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life. Envy no one, no wish to be with no evil man. For there'll come the day when you'll be whipped by the feathers and leave a huge deal.
Sing what you want me to sing? Gotta start it from the top again.
Love and hate
can never be friends. Oh no. What? I went to church, you say? Come on, play the song.
Here I come
with love and not hatred. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am very, very, very happy to be here in the great village of Jessups, in the heart of Jessups, because I believe that we have a golden opportunity with Keith, this and that, Scarborough, MBE, a cultural icon. You know, as I listened to my colleagues speak tonight, and they talked about Keith Scarborough, they talked about the fact that as a Calypsonian, he has, since he entered the Calypso arena, competed in every single show. I want you all to consider that for a moment. Win, lose, or draw, every year he came back and he competed. We have had other great Calypsonians. They sing 1 year, they drop out the next. They stay out 2 years, 3 years, and then come back. Not Keith Scarborough. He has been consistently there as a cultural icon in Nevis. And whatever else you say about him, his stick-to-itiveness, his incredible ability to try and try and try again, I believe that that is a characteristic that he has that serves him well. And so here he is again in the political arena, saying to the good people of St. Thomas's, here I am, here I am, give me the opportunity. And I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, what a golden opportunity you have. What a golden opportunity you have. You know why? And I will tell you why. This election, as you have heard from the other speakers, is like no other election. This is not a general election. This election will not change the government. whatever happens in this election, the Concerned Citizens Movement, elected in 2017, will continue to be the government in the island of Nevis. This election, therefore, for the people of St. Thomas's comes down to one question. Do you wish for your representative to go into opposition, or do you wish for your representative to go into government? That is a simple question. Now, the people in St. Thomas's have consistently over the years voted for the NRP. We know that, but we understand the history. The NRP was founded out of the belly of St. Thomas's. The people over here who supported the NRP knew Sim Daniel, Sir Simeon Daniel, the son of Job Daniel from Barnesgut. The people who support the NRP know Joseph Parry. But I'm here to tell you that Sim Daniel has passed on. And may God bless his soul. Joseph Parry has said that he has had enough and has retired. What do we have left? We do no longer have an NRP born out of St. Thomas's. No, NRP has moved to town. NRP leadership is now in Charlestown, led by a man who can't win a seat, led by a man who will never win a seat. And so the people of St. Thomas's must ask themselves, do we stick with NRP? When I campaigned over here some time ago, I met an elderly lady up the road, and the elderly lady said to me that she's voting for Sim Daniel in the election. And I said to her, I understand. Because even though Dr. Daniel had passed, what she was telling me is that she was voting for the legacy of Sim Daniel. I am saying to the people of St. Thomas's, who are you voting for now? The legacy of Hansville Hector? The legacy of the man who in government made sure that he and his family get land, house and land, land. The only thing left for Hector to survey in Nevis is seawater. Is that what you're going to support? The people of St. Thomas's must make a decision. Because for the next 3 years, the CCM is going to continue in government. And I am asking one simple thing as the Premier of Nevis and the leader of this great big blue party. I am asking the people of St. Thomas's, send your representative to cabinet. Send your representative to government. That is all that we are asking. And I am going to take a minute tonight to point out that notwithstanding that the people of St. Thomas's have not in the past voted for the CCM has never forgotten St. Thomas's. The CCM has always been in St. Thomas's, ensuring that the people of St. Thomas's are taken care of. And I asked the question, perhaps rhetorically, and I said to the good people of St. Thomas's, the people of Craddock Road and of Jessups, the people of Barnesgut and of Cotton Ground, the people of Westbury, I ask you, perhaps rhetorically, if we have done for you when you have not voted for us. Imagine what we could do when you send your representative straight into government. Imagine that. And I have heard Keith Scarborough. I have heard the passion that the man brings. I have heard his plans. In fact, my good friend and deputy leader and deputy premier, Alexis Jessups, say that the man gave us so much money, it looked like he's giving away Alexis money too. He's giving away everything, his constituency allowance, but I'm telling you, he is saying these things because his heart is with the people of St. Thomas's. He has said to me that he was not born in St. Thomas's, but he has lived now in this parish for over 30 years. And I believe that that ought to count for something. He's not like others who might have been born here but left and only come back because they're going to run. He has been here for over 30 years, over a generation. That must count for something. And the man has a passion for this. He has a passion for St. Thomas's. When we were talking about a candidate in this by-election, We canvassed and we spoke. And King this and that, Keith Scarborough, MB, had one conversation with me. He said to me, he said, Premier, party leader, he said, all the times that I've run against Joseph Parry. I've run against the leader of NRP. I want to have an opportunity now to run when he is not the person I'm running against. And I thought that was fair. That was not an unreasonable request. Because while some may say he has come in the past, he has come up against the foundation in St. Thomas's that was NRP. That foundation, ladies and gentlemen, is dead. That foundation is no more. NRP has moved from St. Thomas's and is somewhere now up there, what they call the alley? That Moulton Alley. The other alley. Marion Avenue, where the house was built by London Housing. That is where NRP has moved to. And that is why I'm saying to the good people of St. Thomas's, this is your time and your opportunity. Now, here's my simple suggestion. If it is that you find that there's merit in our argument, give Keith Scarborough the opportunity. Send him to government. Let him represent you for the next 3 years. If he does not prove himself, then in a general election you do what you must. But give him that chance. Because I have sat on the opposition benches in Nevis. I have sat on the opposition benches in St. Kitts. And I'm telling you now, and I say it with no water in my mouth, the most that opposition can do is talk. The most that they can do is talk. If they talk, sensible talk, they may get some changes to legislation. But all that they can do is talk and make suggestions. When you have a man in cabinet, he can do. He not only talks, he executes. When we sit in cabinet and we say we have $10 million to the roads, Alexis Jessups come. He's a man who wants everything in St. James. Eric Evelyn come. If he has his way, he spend the whole budget up in Gingerland. Brand comes, sometimes I got to tell Brand, man, slow down, you can't do everything in the first year. Ready in St. Paul's. I am up in St. John's, and you know St. John's a big constituency. So I'm saying, who's the voice for St. Thomas's? Who's the voice? Who is the person who will put up their hand in the cabinet and say, the people of Jessups need something done? The people of Craddock Road and Westbury and Barnscott and Cotton Ground need something done. I am saying to you that the person who can make that argument for you, who can advance and advocate for you, is King this and that Keith Scarborough. That is the man. Because if the people of this constituency were to decide that they will stay with tradition, that they will put tradition above pragmatism and practical good sense, that they will seek to vote NRP because they always voted NRP. I said to you, what will the NRP representative do for you? What? They can't do a thing over here unless they come to us. To ask us, can you do something over here? They have no power and no authority to do a thing for you. So just like Mr. Parry, who despite his immense contribution, decided, I can't handle this. I had enough of this. You think it easy? Me alone sitting down over there. When Brandon talk and Troy don't talk and Hazel don't talk and Eric don't talk and Eric like to talk. And Zook, oh Lord, Zook like the Energizer Bunny when he don't talk. And he like to look up at Mr. Farrell, the president, and say, I need more time. He like to talk when he don't talk. And then, of course, the sheriff come and the sheriff talk. Parry said, Lord, me alone over here. Parry said, no, not me. Them say them young and them have energy. Let them go in there, go face this big blue machine. Oh, you think politics easy? You all think politics easy? A pressure. Why Parry run? Pressure make Parry run. So you have to ask yourself, if a veteran like Parry run from pressure, what this poor young woman going to do? What's she going to do? And what will she do for the people of St. Thomas's? Somebody told me that the young lady says she's going to change politics. Well, you're going to change politics when you got one seat in opposition if you're successful. What are you going to change? And that is why I'm making the point to the people. Vote in a wise and practical way. Send Keith Scarborough into the cabinet and into the government. Because doing anything else is frankly a waste of your vote and a waste of time. Now some say that CCM is being undemocratic. They say CCM is asking for all 5 seats. And that will mean that there's no opposition. And I said to them, well, Keith Mitchell in Grenada get all 15. I have not heard that democracy has suffered there. Douglas in St. Kitts, when he was Douglas, he got all 8. The same NRP jump up and call him the world boss. I never heard anybody say that democracy has suffered. Mia Motley, my good friend in Barbados, got all 30. Nobody say that democracy has suffered. But in Nevis, they're saying to the people of St. Thomas's that you must vote for a candidate who cannot do anything for you, because they said to give CCM all 5 is an assault on democracy. I said to you that that is absolute rubbish. That by strengthening our hand, not only in the local election, but we come back to you, and we expect to come back to you soon, to strengthen our hand in the federal government as well. Alexis Jeffers made the point, and I think it's a good point that he has made. And what is the point that he made? He said that CCM are better negotiators. I will put it differently. CCM loves Nevis. CCM loves Nevis. And when people vote for the CCM, we say that people matter most, and we mean it. That is why when we go out to campaign, when we are elected and we go into government, we perform for the people. That is why when the NRP goes there, they do nothing. There's a fellow who has come time and time again to St. Thomas's called Patrice Nisbet. I'm not going to spend too much time on him because I don't like to talk about the past. But he has come time and time again, and he has won a seat in the federal parliament because of the people of St. Thomas's, because not one box could he win in St. James, where he's from. I want St. Thomas's people to remember that, Not one box Patrice Nisbet has ever won in the parish of St. James, where he neighbors Stringberry. He come to St. Thomas's, and it is the people of Jessups and Barnescott and Cotton Ground who have sent him to St. Kitts time and time again. Well, I will tell you that I was in cabinet one Wednesday. Oh, what a Wednesday it was. A Wednesday when the phones in cabinet started to ring. And as we answered the phones and wondered what the outcry was about, it was that Patrice Nisbet, the NRP, as a member of the federal government in their joint Labour NRP administration, had bounced the checks of the people of Nevis. And I asked the people of St. Thomas's, nobody out here work government? None of you out here work for the government? Because I'm telling you, if you work for the government, your check got bounced on that day. And Patrice Nisbet was sitting in the cabinet in St. Kitts when Nevis people checks were bounced. They said they were embarrassing the CCM, but it turned out that they embarrassed themselves and they hurt the island of Nevis and the people of Nevis. I see a good nurse here. Good evening, nurse. I know your check get bounced. I see some fellas here. Eric Evelyn. Eric was in agriculture. You check get bounced. I see Alexis Jeffers. He was a minister. His check get bounced. I see a couple civil servants here. Them check get bounced. I see myself. My check get bounced. Spencer was the only man who check didn't get bounced. So I'm making the point that that is what the NRP has done to us. Alexis made the point, and it's a powerful point. Because we go down to Sinkers. Nevis only has 3 federal seats. 9, 10, and 11. And we go down to Sinkers, ladies and gentlemen. And Van Samuel is standing up, making the case for Nevis. I am standing up, making the case for Nevis. Then as we try to make the case, you hear somebody singing out of tune. You're singing reggae, and Patrick singing soca. Out of tune, wrong church, wrong pew, has nothing to contribute. When we make the case for Nevis, he said Nevis don't want nothing. And goes down there and cusses everything about Nevis. That's what he does. And that is why I am saying that we intend to come back to you very shortly after Thursday of next week, when you have voted for and returned King this and that kid Scarborough to number 5, we will come back to you to talk to you about number 11. It's important, ladies and gentlemen. We have work to do. And I keep telling people, I've said it all my political life, that we live in serious times now, and that serious times demand serious attention from serious people. Serious times demand serious attention from serious people. And I have nothing bad to say about the young lady who's coming for NRP. I am happy that NRP has found someone willing to come forward. They have found someone in this parish. I believe it was easy because this parish has traditionally and historically voted for the NRP. In Gingerland, I hear they done ask 10 people, and none of them say yes. And the only one who say, here I am, send me, they tell he no. So I don't even know what is happening in this election. I understand that the NRP has found a young lady. I have nothing ill to say of the young lady. All I will say is that you have come at the wrong time, and you're in the wrong church and in the wrong pew. Wrong time, wrong church, wrong pew. Because what really is expected? Now hear the joke. And I sit home in my own quiet moments at night and I do my own analysis. If the people of this constituency were to say, let us vote with our history and our sentiment and elect this young lady. Now hear the joke. You now have a young woman in parliament for NRP. The leader of NRP not in the parliament. In fact, the leader of NRP can't get in the parliament. The leader of NRP is not in the next federal election. The NRP is not sending him to face the sheriff. So the question arises, what happens? You got one person talking in the parliament, somebody else talking out here. What happens? Because NRP for the first time in their history has left St. Thomas's and moved to Marion Avenue. And Marion Avenue ain't got no future for NRP. And that is a serious matter. You know, as this whole thing unfolded, I smiled to myself. Because one thing about NRP, they like to say CCM have confusion. And so they say, my good friend Joe Parry. Joe is a wily politician, smart as a fox. So Joe come over here to some Christmas tree lighting. And Joe decided he wanted to retire. But Joe said, that boy in Marion Avenue who undermined me the whole time that I was premier, I am not going to allow that boy to choose any successor for me. So Joe stand up right up here at the Christmas tree lighting. You know what Joe said? My successor will be this young lady. I hear all hell break loose in NRP. Because before Joe asks executive, or asks chairman, or asks party leader any question, my friend Joe said that this woman will replace me. And they were presented, ladies and gentlemen of St. Thomas's, with what we call a fait accompli. That means not a thing you could do about it. Joe selected his successor. Simple and done. And I know why he did it. Because when he was Premier of Nevis, the same one on Marion Avenue undermined him. We forget, perhaps, that they had two cabinets, you know. My good friend is here. He was the cabinet secretary. He will vouch. He can come and speak after me and say that he confirms that what Mr. Brantley is saying is true. Two cabinets. They had one with Mr. Parry and the fella they called Buster. And of course, Hensley Daniel. And then they had a second cabinet. That second cabinet was El Hansville and the boy they called Patrice. Lord of mercy. When they get together, it's like the dynamic duo. They call them Wally attorneys. They form whole law firm while them inside the government and start to do all the work up at Land and Housing when Hector is chairman and Patrice is member. It took me, your humble servant, to go into the house and listen. You don't have to give me a lot of licks, you know, but I'm smart, you know. I smart, you know. I go in and hear me. I said, my brother, the Honorable Premier, Mr. Parry, I know that you don't know. So I will tell you that that boy over there named Hector and that man sitting down there named Patrice Nisbet, they have formed a law firm called Wally Attorneys. I see Parry take off his glasses. He rub his face. I said, Parry, not only that, Wally Attorneys doing all the legal work up in Land and Housing. And Land and Housing chairman is the same Hector. And Land and Housing board member is the same Patrice. I was the one who went and told Mr. Parry. And Mr. Parry broke out in a cold sweat. He didn't know that these fellows around him were like that. And I'm sure again, if my good friend were to speak after me, the cabinet session after that parliament was interesting. I am still looking for the cabinet minutes because shortly after that revelation, Parry tell them shut down all the attorneys, and all the attorneys was no more. Shut it down because he recognized that these fellas were bent on pillaging the treasury. That is what they were bent on. And so they had to shut it down. But I'm going to tell you more. Just a few days ago, the High Court here gave a decision. I'm surprised Alexis Jessups didn't talk about it. The High Court here gave a decision, and it was a fascinating decision. You know why? Here's what happened. While the NRP was in office, and El Hansville Hector, the man from Marion Avenue, who lived up there in the house built by Land and Housing, who is the new leader of the NRP, when he was chairman and minister of lands, and Patrice Nisbet, his sidekick, they're like Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin, his sidekick, was a board member at NHLDC, Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation. And one young man called Eustace Nisbet was the manager at the Nevis Land and Housing Corporation. Hear what happened. Eustace Nisbet, in 2012, said he's selling a piece of land to the corporation. The same corporation he's the manager of. Hector, who's the chairman, said, of course, we will buy it. And we will pay $187,000 for it. Between May, when that decision was made, and December, young Eustace Nisbet collected $125,000 of Nevis people money. And therefore, based on the agreed price, he was owed somewhere in the region of $61,000. The government changed in 2013. I hope you all listen to me carefully. Wait, I'm on TV. Let me wipe off my face. Hold on. Let me wipe off. The government changed in 2013. Alexis Jessups, the new minister, said when he looked at the documentation, you know his favorite song? Pass the bullbud. He said, pass the bullbud. And he gave the fellow Eustace this bit, whop! Because he back said, not another penny you will get from the corporation. Eustace Nisbet left here, went abroad to study law, come back, say he bright. You know, some people born bright, and some people say they learn to be bright. So he come back, say he bright. It's long time he think he bright because his nickname is Smarty. So he come back, and he thought it best to sue the corporation, say he want the balance of the money. You hear what I tell you? He done collect $125,000. He come back now say he want the balance $61,000. So the matter goes to the court. When the matter went to the court, oh my goodness gracious, let me look into the camera. When the matter went to the court found out that the Eustace Nisbet on the title is Eustace Nisbet Sr., a dead man. God rest his soul, he was a good man, known as Tessie. And the Eustace Nisbet who's selling the land is Eustace Nisbet Jr., known as Smarty. So you all see the confusion now? So the man presented himself and said, I am Eustace Nisbet, but it was the wrong Eustace Nisbet. So the judge said, how you could sell what you don't own? How you could sell what you don't own? But you know what is interesting, ladies and gentlemen? The main witness for Eustace Nisbet Jr., also known as Smarty, was Elhansville Hector. And the lawyer for Eustace Nisbet Jr., also known as Smarty, was Patrice Nisbet. And I said to myself, well, my goodness gracious. You mean these two men who were chairman and board member, when they take up Nevis people money and pay Junior for fatherland, they now come back in the year of our Lord 2020 to go courthouse to say to the court that the people of Nevis must pay Junior $60-something thousand for land that belong to Junior. And so the judge said, my God, you never came and said that you were representing the estate of Eustace Nisbet Sr. You never suggested at any point that you were representing the man's estate. The man died leaving a wife and many children. You come big and broad and say, my name is Eustace Nisbet and I am selling the land. And so the judge, look here, the judge said, get out of in here. And you know something? Pay $9,000 in costs. And I have said to Alexis Jessups, that bullbud that you picked up to deal with this case, pick up a bigger bullbud and go back to court and say we want back with $125,000 too. We want back with $125,000 because that is the level of craziness that was happening in this country. Imagine that a man seek to sell land that don't belong to him, but because he got the same name. So imagine a man out here in Jessups named Mark Brantley. The man dead and leave land. Me run over and say, me name Mark Brantley to me, I go sell him. Huh? Your neighbor? Well, you should have got something $125,000. I am saying, ladies and gentlemen, that this is what happens when you have people who have no moral compass involved in public life. This is what happens. Because I would have thought that Hector, the new leader of the NRP, would have distanced himself. But no, he showed up in court to give evidence. To give evidence. And Patrice Nisbet showed up in court to represent. Represent what? Represent what? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is in nature. I'm not going to go into the other things. What I will say to the people of St. Thomas's is that under the CCM government, we came up here to Jessups. We fixed some back roads here in Jessups. The housing development right here, we put the roads and infrastructure in that housing development. And I know that the people are happy because many of them have said so to me. When we went up further, we come around. The NRP had a bad habit